Hi there and welcome to yet another pick a card. My name is Fernanda and I'm happy that you're here today. Now on today's tarot reading, we're gonna go over on what is it that makes you attractive, right? When it comes to romantic setting, what is it that people like most about you? What is it something that really stands out for them, or the qualities they're attracted to that they feel like you have them? So we're gonna go over that. Remember, that's not necessarily who you are as a person, but how people that like you perceive you, and that they are attracted to you for this reason. Okay, take all the time you need to pick the pile with which you feel most connected. Also, do remember that these readings are meant both for women and men. There's no gender in these readings, and also it's meant for all ages. And well, once that you have picked one pile, you can head to the comment section or the description box and you'll find the timestamp. I'll see you in a couple seconds. Bye. Hi there and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. Now let's see, what is it that people find most attractive about you? So your first card, you got the 8th house. Intimacy, intensity. This is a very sensual energy, okay? So I already know that you are a very sensual person. Now, the 8th house does also belong to our inner traumas, our inner secrets. So it is clear that people see you as someone who is very secretive, someone who moves in the dark, someone who we will see if you show your emotions, but I feel like you're very mystical, you're very secretive, and so I just feel like you're that typical mysterious person that has a very strong Scorpio energy. You may not be a Scorpio, but you may have a moon or ascendant, a rising sign that is Scorpio, and so that may be a reason why people really perceive you as such. You're someone who I do feel like is very intense, has a very intense energy. And in this specific picture, you see a dancer like fit, right? In the pole. And it's like, you know, but this person is dressed. It's not like showing everything, but it's very sensual and sexy, the way that she is, the way that she moves. I feel like probably people have told you in the past at a club, like, hey, like you are really a good dancer. Or even if you don't dance as much, it's like whenever you do, you know that people really watch you because you're very sensual. You're very yeah, I would say sensual the way you dance. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, it doesn't matter. You have this like very mysterious bad girl, bad boy, or very sober type of look. I'm really picturing, you know, like if you're a boy, like you're like this. Height doesn't matter, but it's just like your hair is very sharp. You can have really sharp features, or you can have a very sharp contrast, like really dark hair and really like pale skin color, okay? Skin tone. Now, the 8th house, of course, it also does represent, you know, obsessive behavior. So that could be it too. Like they think that you're someone who's very, very, very intense at times. And that you're really like intense when it comes to intimacy. I do think that people that have approached you or that you even dated at some point, they realize that to you intimacy is really important. That's a time where like there's no mask whatsoever. I will also say that I don't talk about these things, but because the 8th house is here and it's very intense, I do think that you're also very generous in bed. And that's how people like do perceive you as well. You're very intense. You completely give yourself and you're completely like it's a different world. And I do also think that with Chiron right now that just came out, and if you do have the 8th house, I do think that you are like, I don't know if you have watched Grey's Anatomy, but if you have, you know Grey, like Dr. Grey Meredith, like the main character, you know how she was had always this look of someone who was suffering, someone who was sad, someone who had a bad childhood. And so that suffering, constant suffering in her look also made her very attractive to McDreamy. And so in this case, because you got Chiron, and that is usually, it does represent our deepest wound, that means that we all have Chiron somewhere, but you have it on what people are most attracted to, like when it comes to you. And that means that that's something that you actually show to people. People can tell, because of course we all have traumas, but we don't show them and we don't let people know about them. And for you, you may not even tell people about it, but it's so clear on your face, on the way like you dress, the way that whether you dress very like with only white and black colors, you know, or you always wear the same thing, or you wear something that is like very if you were an FBI agent, or you were a secret agent, but you're not, right? But you know how they dress? Like, can you picture that? Like very intense people that is like live or die type of day every day. And so it's just, that's how the people perceive you. And they perceive you like a broken soul that has a lot of deep secrets and issues at the same time. I do feel like a lot of people, what they're attracted to as well is that they have seen that you have grown a lot as a person. I do think that people, when they see you, they're like, she had a really rough past, like, or he had a really rough past, and now he's here, and like, he's not perfect, but he has done so much work on himself. Like, you have had a personality development for sure. I do think that, well, erotic is part of it as well. But yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of, you're very intense. And I think that, yeah, you're very intense and you got a lot of wounds, but also that makes you one of the most compassionate people. Like, because of how hurt you have been, and that's how people perceive you, you are also one of the most patient and compassionate people out there. Now, with this conjunction, empowerment conjunction is usually when, like, it's a specific position when it comes to planets, and this is just kind of confirming of how, like, intense you are, or how intense, like, they perceive you, and how, like, I also feel like there's this thing that they're telling me that you don't, like, you're not okay with injustice at all, like, at all. And sometimes you may not be able to speak for yourself, but you definitely do speak for others. I do want to see what are some of the things people like most about you. What are some things that people like most about you? You got this Four of Cups, you got the World. And you got the Ace of Cups, you got the Son of Staffs, and the Eight of Staffs as well. Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, okay. So this thing that I'm getting that is not necessarily in here, but that it's very clear for me is that you're someone who's very fair. I feel like injustice is something that you really, really, really do not stand for. You're someone who can read people very quickly because you have been hurt in the past. You are like, you have like a soul of FBA agent, or maybe you are a psychologist. I don't know if you're a psychologist, because with Chiron it is a wound that we have, but also I have noticed that people that are the most messed up are the ones who actually become psychologists, or becomes like, do help others in that emotional aspect, because they understand right? And it's through other people that we understand ourselves and we can heal ourselves. So that is something that does make sense to me. And I just feel like you may be a psychologist, but people here, they admire how fair you are as a person, how just you are as a person. You will always be protecting the weak. That's something clear in here as well. And so I think that something that they like is that you don't fall for anyone so easily. With this Four of Cups, this is telling me that you may have a lot of, like, people realize this, okay, that you have several people after you, but you are picky. You don't, like, even if like they have something to offer you, if it's not coming from the right person, you just don't take it. And this is something that people are really attracted to you. I know sometimes in, like, you know, today's age, everything is so available, and there's this trend of dating so much, you know, going on 3 dates or 2 dates every week, and but what they like about you is the opposite. The fact that you don't, the fact that you are selective, the fact that you're picky, the fact that even if you have options, you care about what these options are, and you have this ideal, and you're not gonna settle for anything less than this ideal. And so this, like, hard to get type of also personality, this is something they like, because you're like, you have other people after you, but they have noticed how you just don't settle, and that's something very attractive. Another thing is, I definitely see that you're someone who's very passionate, and once that you do fall in love, or like you do say yes to someone, that's when you don't hold back. That is when, like, you're not scared of moving fast. I find you're someone who kind of offers whatever they have right away. You don't hold back. So I do feel like you have this personality of being very picky, but whenever you do actually open the door to someone, you are so generous with your love, and you're so generous with, like, your affection, and, like, yeah, you fall without, like, necessarily fear of falling. And I also see that something that they really also are attracted to, it's how of an adventurous person you are, how authentic to yourself you are, how, like, you're always like dying and rebirth. Like, dying and rebirth is a topic here. I do think that you have Scorpio energy in your chart, and sometimes, like, I don't know if you know your chart, like like a way of getting your chart is just Google, like, astrological chart, and then you'll find so many websites, and you enter your date of birth, your time of birth, and your location of birth, and then it will show you your chart, and then see how many planets you have under Scorpio, because sometimes you could not be a Scorpio, but then you have like 6 planets under Scorpio, so other planets, so that will explain that energy. But you definitely, I do think you have either your moon, your sun, or your rising sign in Scorpio. Now, with this Son of Staff and Dunia, like I said, there is this theme of death and rebirth, this theme of being capable of closing chapters and moving on, this theme of always being so authentic to yourself and, like, not filtering necessarily who you are or what you say, or, like, think 10 times before talking. Like, I don't see you as being someone mean at all. It's just that you don't filter who you are, and you're very authentic. And I do feel also that you have, like, a magical side to you, because the 8th house, it's also, yes, of course, secrets, because you can be secretive, or maybe your family has a lot of secrets, and you're a survival of that, but at the same time is psychic. Okay, so you may be kind of witchy type of person. You are, like, very authentic in a very, like, sensual, but also, like, not savage, animalistic way. You have something about you that it's like nature rooted in you. You know, like there's a very nurturing, not nurturing, it's a very, you have this element about your personality that I feel like you're very authentic and you're not made. Like you're not someone who will be like, yeah, I don't feel like you will be the type of person that will be injecting things to yourself, because it's like you are not necessarily an earth sign, but you're very grounded and you're very authentic, and there's this natural feeling about you, right? As a woman or a man, doesn't matter. So that is what people feel most attracted towards you. Like that's why they feel they're so attracted to you. It's because of that strong personality, authentic, yes, very sober, mysterious type of energy, but very fair. And I do feel like there is definitely an element here of like suffering, that I do think that people that have been attracted to you, there have also been attracted to that, to your wounds. And so that also lets me know that you probably have attracted a lot of mirrors in your life. So they mirror you. And yeah, so that's your reading, group number 1. I do hope that this reading was helpful. And remember to subscribe, to give it a like. And if at some point you do want a private reading, you can just head over here to tarotbyfernanda.com and then get your reading. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading. Now let's see, what is it that people are most attracted when it comes to you, when it comes to being romantically attracted to you. And so you got 3 cards, and let's start. So first of all, you got the 6th house. So that actually belongs to Virgo. You may be a Virgo, but we'll see what other houses or planets we have in here before I say anything. Now, the 6th house is the house of beauty, of well-being. It is a house of the exterior, like taking care of the exterior. So whether it's fitness, like I said, your health as well, your beauty, the way you dress, you know, being on a proper diet. And also it is a house of work, so your career in a way. And we'll see what other cards we get to get a bit more clarification. Now you got also Taurus, the bombshell. Now Taurus is the bombshell because Taurus energy belongs to Venus. Now Venus energy, we know that that's Aphrodite, that is the goddess of beauty. And Venus is also the planet of harmony. And so you also got Taurus energy here. So you're a very earthy, hardworking person. That is very clear. You're someone whose career is very important, because for Taurus, career, money, beauty is very, very important. Like the way that you dress is really important. And it's clearly that people feel very attracted to you because 1, you're very handsome or you're very beautiful. 2, you dress to impress. And 3, I do think that your energy is very harmonious, and like I said, you're very hardworking. And now you also got Aries. I'm gonna put this 2 like this because you got 2 energies and you got the 6th house. And it's interesting because Aries is actually the first energy in the zodiac sign, and then Taurus is the second. So that already tells me that for you, identity and assets are kind of probably one of the two most important things in your life, or at least that's how people see you. You're someone, you got here a fire starter. And you're very active, you're very daring. I'll say that Aries is such a brave zodiac sign. It's a very fiery, well, it's fire, but you're a very fiery person. You're someone who's very competitive, very motivated, and like nothing can stop you. I will say that you're very attractive. So that's something that is clear over here. I do think if there's a pile of like people that are very, very beautiful and attractive, will be this one. Okay. Now, sometimes because you also got the 6th house, which is the well-being, diets, and all of that, could be that this pile, you may feel sometimes compelled to change your body. Like, I do feel like also if there's any pile that has maybe done something to themselves, to their face or their body, will be this one. Okay, like you're someone who from well, of course, Botox or other things, I feel like that will be like one like side of the spectrum. But the other one, I just feel like it's like you're someone who does your hair, your eyebrows, who waxes all the time, who like do their nails. I just feel like you're really detail oriented when it comes to your looks, okay? And same thing for a man. If you are a man and you pick this pile, I do think that you actually care a lot about your appearance, about your hair. You probably don't only do like water and that's it. Like you don't use water for your hair, you use wax or you use gel. Like it's very clear that you cater your image very well depending on how you're feeling that day, or like your outfits, it's part of like how you express yourself. That is very clear over here. I do think because you got very strong-minded signs over here, you got Aries and Taurus, you're very like bossy for sure, and I think that you're also, what's the word, I need to think about it. I need to, it's not the word, it's because the word is not here. You're headstrong. You're very headstrong, and it's like very difficult for people to change your mind. And when you want something, like no one can talk you out of it. But that's part of like what people really like about you. You also got peaches here, so you're very peachy. You're someone, I really think that you're very pretty. You're very good looking, and you are a bossy woman in the sense, or a bossy man, that you are a very career-oriented person. You got goals. You're someone who has a lot of structure. I also feel like people are really attracted to how clean you are. You're very like you organize your stuff. You know, if people live with you, they soon will realize that you're someone who's very clean, you're very organized, you're methodical, like you're very methodic. For you, food is very important. So I don't see you be eating like junk food whatsoever, regardless of your weight. I'm not talking about that. It's like for you, your health is so important that you're not gonna be eating junk, like fried stuff, or be eating out all the time. Like you, even though you like it, you're very organized. I do think that you are someone who, like I said, really brings so much beauty into any room, and that's one of the things that people like most about you. You also may be into natural healing, natural herbs. You may be someone who's always making tea to people, like whenever you like them and you bring them over to your place, or you know, you make tea for them. I think that you're someone who's always eager to learn more, and that's part of how professional you are, and like that's part of like why people find you so attractive. Let's see. So what is it, something else they really like about group number 2? You got the Ace of Staves. You got Sabre, Temperance, and you got the Eight of Swords. Okay. Alrighty, so now that said, you could be a Virgo, you could be a Taurus, or you could be an Aries, okay? Those are the main 3 zodiac signs that I'm seeing here. Now, with this Ace of Staves, you also got Temperance, and you got the Eight of Swords. I do think that people really, they're very attracted to your optimism, to how optimistic you are, and how like eager you are to start, and how like you're not afraid of, I guess, starting over, or a lot of things that maybe can be quite hard for others, you see it as adventure. Like for you, everything is an adventure, and you're very optimistic. And you're very creative. That's another thing. I think that you're very artistic and creative. Now, with fire elements, usually you tend to be very intuitive. And I do think now with Aries, and now you got the Ace of Staff, and you also got Temperance, is that you're quite intuitive, and they're very attracted to you because you're someone who's very fiery. But I will say that you got some type of balance, because with Temperance, it's like you are open for your angels' messages, and you're open to see the signs and to wait for them. Like, even though you are, you may be a bit impatient at times, you do tend to wait for the right moment. So whenever opportunity knocks on your door, you do accept it. You're someone who accepts all the blessings, who's very open with that, but also to wait for the right moment before you take action. So that's something that people are so attracted about you, because it's clear that you're someone who's very good looking, okay, who's very attractive, like physically attractive. That's clear. But at the same time, it's nice to see that this other side of you, that you can be patient, because you rather wait for the right thing than settle for the wrong thing. And that's something that is just like in general in life, because group 1, it was clear that you are very picky when it comes to your romantic interests. But here is not about being picky, is that you have faith that you will be able to recognize the right person on your path. You have faith in the world and your angels and in your goals in general. And I do think that you rather wait for the right time to take action. Like, you will wait for, God to open, to divide the sea in two so you can cross, rather than you having to take a boat and then have to cross when it's not the right time. So I just feel like you're someone who is very good at reading the signs, and you don't like to force things. Now, with this 8 of Swords, I think that you're someone who's very brave and can understand what is it that throws you off. And you are aware of that. And that's something that people are attracted to, because you have like this self-awareness of your insecurities and what keeps you tied down. Or I just think that like that shadow side that you have, you're aware of that, and you're working on that as well. You're working on anything that is stopping you from taking action at this moment. And people around you, people that are attracted to you, they can see that. And so that's your reading, group number 2. Do remember to subscribe, to give it a like. And if you ever wish to have a private reading, you can go ahead and book one through my website, tarotbyfernanda.com. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you on the next pick a card. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. Now I got your cards over here, and so let's start. So we can see what is it that people are most attracted to when it comes to you in a romantic setting. So first card, you got Pluto. Okay, starting strong. You got transformation, renewal, inner resources. Pluto, to begin with, it is a planet that belongs to the 8th house, and also it is the Scorpio energy. So you may have some Scorpio energy as well. Now, this type of energy, it is definitely rebirth. Maybe you have been exposed to a lot of death as well. And it's very different when someone has experienced loss. And even if we don't have like a sticker that says, I have experienced loss, people can see that, can sense that whenever they're around us. And it's also because we become pretty deep. You may always want to have like very deep conversations. I feel like you're also someone who's very composed, or who has a very sober personality. We'll see. Let me just get like the full picture. You also got the third house. Never mind, you're not that serious because Pluto energy can give you a very sober personality. If you're a very Scorpio person, then if you have a lot of Scorpion energy, then you will definitely be more serious and very sober, like very profound, very deep, very mysterious. But now with the third house, you're someone who, yes, does a lot of introspection. Yes, it is someone who has grown a lot. Yes, you're someone who has experienced loss, but you have not like lost your sense of humor. So you may not be a Scorpio. You may have Pluto, but with the third house, this is like the sisterhood, brotherhood house. It's the house that belongs to Gemini and Mercury. And this is the one of social media, marketing, dating, but with like no strings, humor as well. I will say that third house and the fifth house are the humor houses. And oh, you got Leo energy. That actually does belong to the fifth house. So here you go. You're someone with a lot of humor. So Pluto, I guess this is, of course, how like you have a very strong personality. That's what I can see in here. You got a very strong personality and you have probably experienced loss for sure. But that has not affected you in your humor, how like you shine. I do think you're someone who gets a lot of attention. Now, I feel like more than your looks, I see it that you get attention because of your personality. You can be very good looking, I'm not saying that, but this group is the group that gets, because group number 1, it was clearly the mystical, mysterious person. Then group number 2 was clearly the kind of I'm a model type of person. But you are like, regardless of your looks, you are that person that you need to have at a party. You are that person that everyone wants to be friends with. And that has like a lot of friends, or it's very social. Like no matter who you're with, you're very social. So like having you as a partner is amazing because they know that you're going to get along with everyone. And that's something that they're really attracted to. You also, with this Leo energy, you shine, right? So this is what I'm saying, regardless of looks. You're someone who shines, who gets attention all the time. Just your energy. You're someone who's overconfident, that has a lot of self-confidence. And so you're someone who are like, what is it called? That metal that attracts. I can't think of it right now, but you know, you are like that. You're someone who attracts people. Like you don't go to them, you attract them. I also feel like you're someone who, of course, you're very social. You may be someone who is a lot on social media as well. You may be posting a lot of pictures. You may be someone who is even an influencer, could be, or you're very present on social media. You post a lot about your life. And people perceive you as someone who's having an amazing life, I'll say. Definitely someone who has transformed a lot, who has a lot of motivation as well. You can be a bit intense. That's clear over here because you got Pluto, and that's a very transformative but a very intense energy. I do think that the way you communicate with others, you are capable of adjusting the way you communicate with everyone. And you're someone who, even when you're not trying to be funny, people tell you that you're really funny or you're hilarious. So that is like, take their word for it because they really mean it. You're very expressive as well. You're very expressive and you're someone who is always talking a lot, I find. Yeah. I do also think that you flirt a lot with people. You're that type of person that is like, I don't mean to do so, but you flirt with people. But a lot of times I feel like you're not necessarily interested in them. You're just someone who flirts and who likes that attention for sure. Okay, this card. fell, so I feel like didn't want to be part of this. I'm gonna get you other cards. So you got the Son of Coins right now for what is it that people are most attracted to. Now remember that this is not a reflection of who you necessarily are, but this is how people perceive you when it comes of like them being attracted to you romantically, and this is what comes out the most, okay? So you got the Son of Coins, you got the Four of Staves. Yeah, you definitely are like the soul of the party. You are like the life of the party. You're someone, I have this feeling that you make everyone feel good about themselves. Yeah, there's this thing okay. I feel like group number 2 was like defendant, like they will defend, they will like protect for any injustice. And group number 1 was like protect the weak. But you, what is clear is that it's not like you are a protector. It's that you are so confident of yourself, and you are the type of person that will support others to feel that confidence. And you want everyone to feel good about themselves. And I feel like you're someone who uplifts others. I really feel like you uplift other people. You're someone who's very positive when you talk to other people, and you, yeah, if you were to see someone at a party that has no friends whatsoever, you'll talk to them, you will tell your friends about this person, and you'll make sure that he has a good time or she has a good time. And I do think that people have realized that about you. It doesn't mean that you necessarily are extroverted. It's just that you have the capacity to socialize, okay? With Pluto, this could actually let me know that you are introverted and you actually like to be by yourself. But when you are out there, you definitely do get a lot of attention. You are the life of the party. You are very trustworthy as well. And you like to uplift others. With this Son of Coins as well is, although you may seem like a party person, because I just think that you post a lot on social media, and this is how people perceive you. And you could be like, but I don't post that often. But compared to this is other people's perception and the people that you have attracted so far. If they compare other women or other men that they have been interested in, they feel like you post a lot. You're someone who's very aware of, well, you use Instagram, you use Facebook, whatever you use, like you are very savvy with all that technology, and you are a lot on social media. Now, that said, they also feel you're something that's very attractive about you is that you're perceived as someone who doesn't make a move unless they're ready to make a move. But also I feel like you use reverse psychology because you let other people do the working. I really feel like that. And I am seeing it as this horse. With this Son of Coins, is like you are the horse, but this horse is really smart. And like I feel like the horse was there on purpose at the right time, at the right place. And so this guy will think that he is catching the horse and that he has to be very cautious and everything. But all of this is just a game. And like I just feel like you're really good at the game. That's something that is clear. I would also say that you're someone who's very patient and strategic. And that's something that is very attractive about yourself. Oof. One sec. You also got here the Fool, the energy of the Fool. Now this makes so much sense to me when it comes to this pile with your energy, because your sense of humor, the fact that you don't worry, you don't care, you don't take life so seriously like everyone else. You're someone who's always taking chances. You are like a little kid at heart. Yeah, you're someone who takes a risk, and you prioritize being happy and laughing. That's what I see. I do think with Leo being the lover, I do think that love is very important for you. But more than that, if you are in a relationship or you're not, I think that for you, friendships is more or as important as a relationship. That's something I'm seeing as well. Because although you got Leo the lover, I'm really sensing that, and then for you, friendships are very, 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 very important. And yes, you look to be in love. You want to be deeply in love and find your partner, but you're in no rush. And that's what I see also with the Fool, is like you are ready to start from scratch again and again. And it's like no matter how many times something may not work out, you have this like, because you're in love with love, you have this ideal of what love is, and you're so like willing to get that and to get that feeling. Now, with this Four of Staffs as well, like I said, this also reinforced a bit of like you going out or you always being in festivities. But also another thing that people perceive about you is that you're someone who's happy for others. Like you go to a lot of weddings or you go to a lot of celebrations, and you are there with them, and you are there like so happy for them. You feel so happy for them. Like you're a very genuine person that is always on the go, who is very active in her life, and who's very present in other people's celebrations and happy days. And you're someone who enlightens their day. So a lot of you could be a Leo. Of course, here we got also Scorpio, and we got Gemini with the third house. But I will say that more than Scorpio, I really feel, I'm getting a feeling of Leos and Geminis being predominant on this reading. I hope that this reading was helpful. Group number 3. Do remember to subscribe, to give it a like, so I can keep posting weekly and you pick a card. And for my YouTube channel to keep growing every day more and more. Okay? I'll see you on the next reading. Bye.